Hello everyone, I'm Soma, and today I'm going to talk about the Rohit Vemula bill, which has been recently tabled in the Karnataka State Assembly Cabinet on 16th April 2026. The bill is known as the Prevention of Discrimination, Exclusion and Injustice Bill 2026, alternatively known as the Right to Education and Dignity Bill 2026. Now, the bill has been tabled by the State Parliamentary Affairs Minister H.K. Patel after it was proposed by the Congress Chief Rahul Gandhi in the year 2025 to the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddharamaiah. The bill is in its draft phase, so it is an important piece of legislation that is going to be further undergoing legislation in the monsoon session, and we are hopeful that it will become an act as promised by the state Karnataka cabinet minister. But also, this bill is important in the fact that it is something that India and its higher educational institutes cannot do without. It is a piece of legislation that India promises to its marginalized students. Indian Constitution promises or intends to promise to ensure a safe space for marginalized students who are coming to Indian higher education systems. The bill has a history to it. It's called the Rohit Vemula bill. So the bill takes its history from the death of the Dalit student Rohit Vemula, who died on the campus of University of Hyderabad in the year 2016 in the month of January. Rohit Vemula was systematically denied access to fellowships, faculty who which discriminated on the basis of caste, and centralized India government that massively interfered with a student body that was democratically fighting for the rights of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students. So this bill is controversial in the sense that it has been it will supposedly contest and challenge the hegemony and domination of Savarna or upper caste elites in Indian higher educational institutes. So it has a twofold function. It will, on the one hand, attempt to safeguard and protect the interest of marginalized students like SC/ST students, unlike the students from the general category who come with certain cultural and social privileges. And on the other hand, it is going to prevent discrimination, harassment, erasure, and injustice of Dalit students. Historically, Dalits have been prevented from the sphere of education. We know that the Indian higher education system has only provided the right to education to upper caste and Savarnas for history for thousands of years and thousands of generations. So Dalits, when they come to these higher education systems, it is not just about their barrier access, which means that they not only do not have adequate cultural and financial resources, they also lack familial support and social legitimacy to take up education in the first place. So these are barrier entries which makes their presence very much minority in the Indian higher educational institutes. The Indian higher educational institutes are not just about acquiring or experiencing education. As we know that the Indian social system is marked by caste, so the Indian higher educational system is also sphere that has a pervasive presence of the Indian caste system. When Dalits they entered these universities, they not just experience educational policies, educational disciplines, they also experience the discrimination and the experiences of a system that sanctions the legitimacy of caste and the cultural elites who are basically the Savarnas and the Brahmins. It's a space that is not just about the entry of Dalits, but also about survival and their persistence, their experience within Indian higher education institutes. The bill has certain provisions. It claims that it has 30 provisions. For example, it is going to ensure a fair admission process, fair process in faculty recruitment of marginalized candidates like SC, STs. It is going to ensure that there is no discrepancy between the written test and interview marks. The candidate's socioeconomic background is not to be disclosed, whether it's caste, class, gender, or religion. And the third is sorry the other aspects are it's going to ensure students are not discriminated in hostels, messes, campuses, through faculty, through students. It is going to ensure equity among students and faculties and staffs. It is also going to ensure equity cells are set up with 80% of representation from minority sections, and where the grievance will be lodged, and it will be formally taken up by institute if discrimination is found to be true. It will ensure that the party who is discriminating is jailed for 1 year, as well as made to pay 10,000 rupees. But it has also a pollitus principle, which means that if an institute is found to be guilty of discriminating against a student and overlooking cases of discrimination, then it will also have to compensate the party with a monetary compensation of 10 lakh rupees. Um, so these are all the structural provisions in the bill. Although it is a bill that will provide some structural redress to discrimination. It is also a bill that will be very much countered by the Savarna or elite sections of the Indian higher education systems. So the bill has been claimed to be controversial because it is assumed by the Savarnas that this bill will be uh, harming the interest of the general category students. It is politically motivated, and it will cater to the sectarian interest of the society. So these are claims that Savarnas are positing in terms of refuting the legitimacy of the bill. But as we know that this bill is not just something that came out of nothing. It has a precedent. It is a draft bill that is definitely going to set a precedent for other states and other similar kind of legislation. Ashwini, KP, and Maria has written in the Wire about how this bill is going to uh, set a rupture in the normative discourse of Indian higher educational institutes. It is going to provide a certain kind of transformative shift in a space which is pervasively discriminatory and exclusionary in nature. And also this bill, as we know that it did not came out of anything, nothing. There were similar other protests going on in various campuses in Indian higher educational institutes. In 2006, Sukhdev Thorat, the chairman of UGC, also similarly found that there were higher educational institutes that were rampantly discriminating against Dalit students, one of which was the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, where scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students were facing discrimination from the Savarna faculty and Savarna students. The bill also is witness to institutional violence against Dalit students. Several Dalit students have died in Indian higher educational institutions.